Kids have lots of questions in their mind. What is Muharram? What is Ashour? And what is the meaning of Ashour? They don't know. That's why I want to try my best to tell you about answer all these questions, because I have a kids at home too, where they are asking me a different question about. First of all, if you see your calendar, there is 12 months, January to December. Everybody knows the names of 12 months. This is the Georgian calendar. We are Muslim. We have our own Islamic calendar. In Quran, Allah Kareem mentioned that there is 12 months, and we should know the names of the months too. It starts from the Muharram and end up to the Zilhajj. First one is the Muharram and last is the Zilhajj. Muharram is the first month of the year, and now in these days this is Muharram. You see on the TVs and programs, and moms are talking, daddies are talking about Muharram, and lots of they are discussing when we will fast and we should do this zikr. Actually, this is the month of kind of reflection, prayer, ibadat, zikr, tasbihat. And why? That's the reason. Because when the Georgian calendar starts with the January, they have a fun, they have a happy new year, this and that. And why we are talking about so serious stuff, that we should do the self-reflection and the tasbihat and fasting. That's why I want to clear these things today. Inshallah, I will try my best. First of all, we have to keep in our mind that this is the 1442 Hijra. You heard every day 2020, but you hardly heard about the 1442. This is our year, Hijra Calendar, Islamic calendar. We are living in 1442, and this is the first month. Its name is Muharramul Haram, the first month. Hijra calendar, Islamic calendar, lunar calendar, same names for the Islamic calendars, right? So what we have to keep in our mind, that this is the second holiest month of Islamic calendar. First one is Ramadan. Everybody knows that. Ramadan, 30 days. This is the holiest month. And the second holiest month is Muharramul Haram. And this is Muharramul Irham, Islamic New Year. When we see the new moon, it goes with the moon. That's why it's lunar calendar, with the moon. This calendar has 12 days lesser than the regular calendar, because it goes with the moon, and moon is sometime after 29 days, sometime after 30 days, and this month has 354 days usually. 354 days lesser than 12 days than the regular calendar. You know the calendar 2022, you are always looking at the January, February and September, you are going to school and this and that. That calendar is bigger, 12 days bigger than the Islamic calendar. Keep this in your mind. And why the Islamic calendar has less days? Because this calendar, its months start with the moon, and moon is sometime early and sometime later one day. Sometime 29 days after 30 days. So this is the fluctuation. That's why this has less days. So first of all, Islamic calendar has 12 months. First month is Muharram. Last month is Zilhajj. We have to know all the names, 12 months, the name of the 12 months by heart. And this is, the year is 1442. Clear? And now we have to keep this in mind, and we should know that the Muharram is the month of self-reflection, of prayer, zikr, fasting. Why? Because Allah is Ajal. You heard the name of the Ashour in these days as well. Ashour is the 10th Muharram, the 10th of this month. That's the Saturday, coming Saturday. What is Ashour and why we are talking so much about Ashour and the fasting on that day? First of all, we have to make sure, we have to clarify in our mind that all the prophets on this planet, more than 100,000 prophets, most of the prophets, their names are mentioned in the Quran, around 26 or 27 prophets. And you know the stories in these classes. We talked about the stories of the prophet. Their du'as of escaping the test of Allah Kareem was accepted on this date, on the 10th of the Muharram. Allah Kareem created this universe on the 10th Muharram. Allah Kareem also built the Jannah and the Dozakh on the 10th of the Muharram. Ashour is the 10th Muharram, the 10th of this month, 10th of the Muharram. It's called Ashour. Ashour is the day when Allah Kareem created the universe. That's why this day is very important. And on the sky, Allah Kareem made the heavens, Allah Kareem made the hell, Allah Kareem did all the creations of this planet and all the planets, whatever in the universe is. So this is the basic day of the creation. What was that? 10th Muharram. That's why this month is important for us. And we heard the stories of the Prophet Hazrat Adam alayhi salam. Allah Kareem created him and as Bibi Hawa on 10th Muharram. And they sent to the earth on this planet on 10th Muharram. They meet together because Allah Kareem sent them on the different places. And then they meet together. That day was 10th of Muharram too. Ashour and 10th Muharram is the same thing, right? If I'm saying Ashour, you should know it's a 10th Muharram. It's coming date of the Saturday. That's a very important day. And then mostly the prophets, we talked about the Nuh alayhi salam. And when there's all over the flood, people were not listening to him, and he made the arch, and Allah Kareem asked him to collect all the pairs and the couples, and they sat in the boat, and then it was sailing. The day the boat went safely, landed to the shore, and water was gone by the order of Allah Kareem, that was 10th of the Muharram too. That was Ashour as well. Just point out the importance of this day. And then we talked about Hazrat Yunus alayhi salam. And when Allah Kareem, for the test, sent him inside the whale, in the stomach of the whale. And he was in the darkness of the river, darkness of the night, darkness of the stomach of the whale, and then depth in the sea. He prayed to Allah Kareem, and then Allah Kareem saved him, and whale vomit him out on the shore. That was the day of 10th Muharram too. That was Ashour as well. Now you know how important this day is, why the parents are asking you to recite the tasbihs, do the zikr, and keep fasting in this month. And whatever du'as you have in your mind, you can ask to Allah Kareem, because this is a month of acceptance. If He is accepting the prayers of the prophets, definite for the ummas as well, inshallah. And then we talked about the story of not yet Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, and Allah Kareem pick him up alive to the sky and save him from his enemies. That was the day of 10th Muharram too. And the day of judgment will be on the 10th Muharram as well, when the Allah Kareem will all demolish this world. Kullu man alayya fan. That day will be inshallah 10th of Muharram too. And then Hazrat Ayyub alayhi salam, you heard the story of Hazrat Ayyub alayhi salam. He has a big test about the physical disease. And 10th of the Muharram was the date when he got cured from the disease. So if we are sick, we can pray to Allah Kareem. If we are in the hardship, in the middle of some disaster, we can ask to Allah Kareem. Even we are safe, we can ask for the future safety, for the barakat, for the afiyat, for the protection to Allah Kareem in these days. And then our Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he came to Medina, Muharram is the date of his migration, because this calendar, that's why it's called the Hijra Calendar. Hijra is a migration. When our Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was migrated from Mecca to Medina, that was Muharram. That's why we start our Hijra calendar with the migration of our Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the month. And then, if you remember the story of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, when Firaun was just catch him up, and he was running with his companion at the night, and then in front of them there was a big river and they want to cross it, but it was middle of the night. What they do, then Allah Kareem make the way in between the sea. Allah Kareem ordered the sea to make a way for Hazrat Musa alayhi salam and his companion, and they stepped in the sea, and the water was standing outside like a mountain, suspended. And there was a route, there was a highway in the middle, and they walked through. And then Firaun reached to the place on the shore. He saw, oh my God, sea was apart into two pieces, and they were walking in. He asked his companion, Firaun, the enemy of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, he asked his companion to jump on that same route as well. They jumped in, and then Hazrat Musa alayhi salam crossed the river, and Firaun and his companion, the enemies of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, was middle of the river, and then Allah Kareem ordered the sea or the river or the water to just crush them, just drown them in the water. That was day of Ashour too. That was 10th of Muharram. So it's a very important month. Second valuable, important, holiest month for the Muslims. And then our Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was in Mecca and he was Prophet, and on that 13 years he was used to fast this month on the 10th of the Muharram every month, because he knows that this is the valuable month, this is the valuable date, 10th of Muharram. And when he came to the Medina, and when there was a Muharram, our Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companion, they were fasting as usual, because they were used to fast in Mecca, and now they are in Medina. Some companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he came to him, and they said that today, 10th of the Muharram, day of Ashour, Jews are fasting, Christians are fasting, all communities are fasting in Medina. And then our Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam called them and asked them, why you guys are fasting on this date? He want to know the history, what is the history behind according to their concepts. And then Jews told that Hazrat Musa alayhi salam was saved from Firaun on this date, because Allah Kareem make the way from the sea for the safety of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, and Allah Kareem drowned the Firaun. That's why this day is important for our community. That's why all Jews are fasting on the 10th Muharram. And then Christian told the story too of their prophet. They said, because Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, he was facing a big test, and there was lots of enemies, then Allah Kareem, with his mercy, pick him up alive to the sky and save him, and showed the enemies the same person who has a resemblance of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, and they took revenge from that person. He was not the Jesus, he was not Isa alayhi salam, Isa alayhi salam was safe and protected by Allah Kareem. And that was the day of Ashour as well. That's why we are fasting. Then our Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was decided that we will fast 2 days next Muharram, next year, because we wanna be a different, because we are different from the other nation. We don't want a similarity to the other nations, because everybody is fasting on the Ashura day, on the 10th Muharram. If I will alive, we will fast 2 days next year. And then our Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam left this planet. Everybody has to go, and then from the next year, all the companion, all the Sahabas of the Prophet, from that day till now, we are fasting 2 days instead of 1 day, and that is the 9th of Muharram and 10th of the Muharram. If somebody is sick, somebody is busy, can't fast on the 9th, they can fast 10th and 11th. 2 days, because we don't want resemblance with the other nationalities or communities or ummas. We are different. That's why we are making fast of 2 days every year. And this is the day of acceptance of the du'as. Whatever hardship or test we have in a life, we can ask to Allah Kareem. We can pray in this day. We can do lots of zikr, lots of tasbih, fasting, du'as, zikr gathering, and we can. There's a very important event, an accident on that day too. After, when our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was gone from this world, and after his visal, almost after half a century, his grandson, Hazrat Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam, he has a big test in his life, and he got martyred, shaheed by the other group of the people. Not only he, his family, his sons, his nephews, his brothers, the 71 people of the initial family of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And you know, Hazrat Imam alayhi Islam, Imam Hussain alayhi Islam was the son of Hazrat Bibi Fatima Zahra. Hazrat Bibi Fatima Zahra was the beloved daughter of our Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and son of Hazrat Ali karamallahu wajhu. Hazrat Imam Hussein's mom and father was Hazrat Ali and Hazrat Bibi Fatima Zahra. And Hazrat Imam Hussain alayhi salam's grandfather Nana was our beloved Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the initial family of our Prophet. They called Ahl Bayt, the people of his house, his family. And in the desert, in the Karbala, this accident was happened on the 10th of the Muharram too. That's why this day is, for some communities, they took it at a morning. They are sad. We should be sad, because it was very sad incident. And then on that desert, the family, the ladies, they left alone. There was only a male young guy was alive. His name was Hazrat Zainul Abidin Razillah Ta'ala. Because he was sick, that's why enemies did not kill him, and he was alive. And rest of all the ladies, they're not only they killed him, they looted his all the household stuff, and they cut his head with the chopped head. They took it to the king. It is a very sad story. It's very hard to mention that. Just I want to mention this. If you see somebody, they're talking about Hazrat Imam Hussain alayhi Islam or Hazrat Bibi Fatima Zahra, you know that then there is a different sects and firqas in our communities. Some of them are crying too much. They are coming to the road But this kind of mourning is not allowed in Islam. We are sad. We love the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We love his family, and it was a very brutal accident. But we have what we need to do to show our patience, to do the zikr, to send the sadaqas on behalf of the martyrs of Karbala, and we can do nafil, we can recite tasbeehs, we can do zikr, we can fast, lots of dua. And so this day has one more importance of the 10th of the Muharram, with the shahadat of Hazrat Imam Hussain al-Islam and his family. 71 people, they were killed in that desert. And then from that day, people are celebrating that more. But this is the importance of the Muharram, the Ashour, is not only because of the Karbala. Karbala is the major incident happened in this day, but from the with the Big Bang, when the world was created by Allah Kareem, universe was made, heaven was made, on that day, this is the day. And when the Allah Kareem demolished this world on the day of judgment, that incident will be on the 10th of the Muharram too. So 10th of the Muharram has lots of signification, lots of importance. This is the holiest day. So what we should do in the hadith, in the sequence we have lots of these. We should deliver food to the needy people. On the Muslim Welfare Center, we should send something, some money. We pinch in some money for the good cause, do lots of charity on that day. And then you can meet and call to your grandparents, your relatives, and your friends. You can dua for them, and you have to take care of the orphan peoples, because there is lots of blessing on that day. You all should take shower, have a neat and clean, properly dress up with the ubba, jubba, shalwar kameez, and make the arrangement, special arrangement for the dua, for the Bajamaat namaz at your place, read the Quran, at least some surahs of Quran, and send this as a hadiah, as a gift to the whole ummah, and especially for the family of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ahl Bayt. And then in this day, you can try your best to fast, not only one day, 2 days, because everybody, means the Christian, Jews, all the communities are fasting on this day. So we have to fast for 2 days, 9th Muharram and 10th of the Muharram. If you can't fast 9th and 10th, fast 10th and 11th, but make it 2 day consecutive. And Allah Kareem, inshallah, accept our du'as, recite lots of Durood Sharif, Kalama. At least a whole family can sit together on the 10th Muharram and try your best to do some ibadah, iftaris and iftaris. That's the day. Whatever du'as you have, Allah Kareem, inshallah, accept them. Inshallah.